So Kigani, what is his role? Is he a broadcaster? Is he a music
comedian.
He's a stand-up comedian.
He's a comedian. He's a local celebrity.
Big
time.
Big time. Yeah.
So your story actually raises an interesting point for me, because at a time where people are doubting that this is even a relevant genre of music, you believed it is. You believe that there's hope in it. And you also believe, what was it about him that gave you the confidence that there's something here? Because everybody seemed to be doubting him.
Okay, for me, it's his ability to write continuously.
Okay.
Elvis is not a one-hit wonder. If you listen to his album, there are some bangers there.
Yeah. That's right.
It's just that they haven't reached where we want them to reach.
Absolutely.
But that's it. And I remember there were times when he'd be having a hard time. We'd be having rough times. And I'd say to him, in your darkest hour, when you've got nothing else, there's you and there's God and you yourself. And he's given you this talent. So start composing. And the guy would compose 2-3 songs a night.
That's awesome. Awesome.
And then he'd work on them and refine them. So at the end, maybe at the end of it, he'll tell you, this is ready, this is ready.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing this guy, he has the potential.
Right.
So that's where we started.
So his talent and his hard work.
His hard work and his ability to do his own research.
Okay.
And really, for me, it's an easy job, because you can have an artist who doesn't want to listen to anything you say. In the end, you just part company.
Right.
But with him, you tell him something, he listens. We have a good understanding.
That's good.
Yeah.
And Jane, you are an artist as well.
Yes,
So
I am an artist, but I think it's really, really inspirational, your journey to stardom, because in the Kenyan music industry, it's almost like you have to have money, you have to know people. And in your case, you literally made a way where there was no way. You built a door, you broke through it, you knocked on the door of greatness. And I think it's also just like a lesson for all the creatives out there who think that they have to know someone.
Absolutely.
Just like go out there, create whatever you can create with connections that you already have. And do what he did. Just show up.
Right.
Show up where these people hang, and just try and make a connection.
It's like Jalang'O'.
Yeah, just be.
right.
It's like Jalang'O'. Jalang'O' is also one of the top comedians we have in this country. He was one of the top radio hosts we've had in this country, and now he's the member of Parliament, Lang'ata. He showed up for an interview without the papers, and every time people were being told, if you have diploma in mass communication, move to this side. He moves to that side without a diploma in his pocket.
Right.
Now diploma guys are so many, and they're like, now if you have a degree in communication, move to this side, and Jalang'O' moves to that side. And I'm like, okay, now if you have, I don't know what, move to this, and Jalang'O', at the end of the day, Jalang'O' is standing there alone, facing the panelists. And they're like,
And
okay.
he has nothing.
And he has nothing.
Oh, man.
And he's like, okay, listen, guys, first and foremost, I have nothing, but I think I have what you guys are looking for. So they give him a chance, because they were flabbergasted by the confidence that the guy was putting out.
Absolutely.
Next thing we know, he has biggest talk show in this country. He has the biggest following. Now he's the member of parliament. I mean, I just hope he doesn't fake his way to the presidency though.
he just might. And
By the way, a big shout out to him. Once upon a time, he once gave me 1,000 bob for bus fare. He used to see my hustle. He used to see me knocking those doors.
Yes.
There's a day he was driving this Luo car, man.
Yeah.
And
Is
he
it a
just
Land
pulled
Rover?
up. Yeah.
That Land Rover Discovery.
It was a V8.
Ah, great.
Yeah. And
that's
he
a
just
Luo
pulled
car.
Yeah, it's a Luo car. They live big.
Grand.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's awesome.
And he just pulled up.
Yeah.
Pulled his window and he was like, Elvis, how are you doing? He called me Nyaruri. Actually calls me Nyaruri.
Yeah.
And then one time we linked up. He gave me 1,000 bob and told me this is gonna be a bus fare.
Wow.
So he used to see the hustle. So I feel like he's a very cool guy.
That's actually very good. So you want to give a shout out to him? Look into one of these cameras and just give him a shout out.
And he's Mheshimiwa. Don't forget.
Hey, Mheshimiwa Jalang'O, congratulations so much.
right.
You know, I really appreciate for that gesture.
Yes.
You know, it was a kind gesture, and I'll never forget about it. You know,
right.
thank you so much.
I tell him to work for the people of Lang'ata
And
too.
now that we're also on Jalang'O, sorry about that, and we're talking about how he didn't have papers. Proud to let you know that Jalang'O and I went to Daystar University together, and now he has the papers.
That's right.
So
right.
he did it
do you
in the
guys
end.
come from the same village in Uyoma?
No, we don't.
And so I take it Jalang'O is also from.
Luo land.
He's a Luo guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jalang'O, if you're listening to this, pull up JOfuasia Media, Jones and Prezzo's podcast would like to talk to you. I think I've heard a lot of good things said about you and your representation for the good people of Lang'ata. Would like to talk to you about that. All right?
Yep.
Give us a shout.
Sure.
We'd like to talk to you.
Yeah.
All
So,
right,
so back to the Geshagi. Yeah. Yeah. So tomorrow is the D-Day. Tomorrow is like the day we're performing this song on Churchill Live. So guys are doing rehearsals, and I call Churchill, and he tells me talk to my producer. He tells me, no, we are not gonna have the show. So in my head, I'm like, I'm so used to these no's. Anyway, I'll just forget about it.
Yes.
But little did I know it was because of COVID. That's when they had the first COVID case. So just when I felt like I was gonna have this big break, then COVID hit.
Right.
You know, so I was like, so what are we gonna do? Then I went online. I started doing cover songs, country songs, 1 minute clips. Then one afternoon, I started trending on Facebook. There's a guy called Ndongo Nyoro. Yeah, he's top notch in like Central. You know, so I get on my Facebook and I have like over 2,000 notifications. Like I'm just trending. Guys are like, no, this is not him. It's this is TikTok. This is not. This is whatever. It's not his real voice. There's a way you can do this. There's apps. So they are looking for who is this guy. So I have to go there and say it's me. Then I did another video. Then he posted me. Then now the label was very serious about like giving me the record deal, you know. So that's when I linked up with Lucas. We did Geshagi is Where I Long to Be.
Yes.
That's when we had a sit down with Kina Steve and Prezzo. We had a listen with the song to the song, and they were like, man, this is a banger. We had a sit down with another guy from Kameme. He's big deal on country. He has the biggest country show in Africa. You know, it's called Gadhaya Dennis. We had
Here
a
in
sit
Kenya?
down here in Kenya. Yeah.
Cool.
We had a sit down with him. He told me, man, this song, once it's complete, bring it. So, because I'm so used to no's, when these guys are giving me these compliments, I'm still like,
it's not true. It's not true.
When we released the song went to, first and foremost, a big shout out to Angela Omboy from Capitol.
Yes,
She's always holding it down for me. She makes my costumes. You know, she's a very good designer. And the main reason as to why
And
my
I just
music,
asked you the question when I saw one of the costume you had on, where you get your clothing from.
Yeah.
So it's the same person who
it's
makes
the same person.
Well,
you know?
beside you here is another person that could make you some extraordinary costumes.
Designer.
Fashion designer, Joe's One by Jane. Unfortunately, I'm not wearing my brand today, but
That's
hey.
right.
So,
Yeah.
man.
Well, you're wearing JOfuasia brand.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, so Angie plugged me with their I think it's their MD, and she was like, man, if you'll be able to convince this guy, then I feel like there's something, because he's a very difficult person to convince. I told her, let me have a sit down with them. So we had a sit down with the guy. We talked about country and the future and whatever. Then he listened to the song and he told me, man, this is a hit. And he was sold. So Angie was like, oh, okay. So when we released the song, we just released the song. It's not even on any platform. We just sent it via mail. Top of the hour, the song played. They played it twice. And then Gadhaya now picked it up on a Sunday. The next morning, like I had, like it was buzzing. You know, so the song was just picking up, you know. But, you know, the challenges in Kenya, It depends with who you know. So
At the end of the day.
at the end of the day,
know,
it depends with who you know. So
Yeah.
the song kept on growing, and then it got to a certain point where it stuck. Then I signed up with my label, and we churned out more songs because guys felt like probably he's a one-hit wonder. So I released other music, and guys were like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
A big shout to people like Prezzo who were posting my songs.
yes.
You, Steve, I saw you posted my song.
Yes.
So after that, a year later, around Christmas, that was in 2021, yeah? Yeah, so Andrew Kibe is trending. And he there's a video he's done where he's talking about ladies of Geshagi and whatever, and I'm like, man, this is what I
And then
sang
you
about.
called him live because I remember watching that interview. Yeah.
And actually what happened was I had a sweetheart who had broken me big time, So
Shame.
from Geshagi.
not from Geshagi.
She was a modern girl.
Yeah, she was a lady.
That's the problem
She
with
was a city
the problem
lady.
with modern girls, bro.
They break your heart, right?
Yeah.
They break your heart.
Yeah, they're too sexy for a rock star, man. What? So Lucas, my guy, my producer, yeah, he sent me. Actually, before we even talk about that, I have to shout out how I met. I have to mention how I met Mark. Yeah, so hold it up, yeah.
It's all right.
So Lucas sends me Kibe's link, and I start watching his content, and then one day I just like request to join in, and
he accepted.
he accepted, and I'm there. Then I tell him, hey man, I'm an artist. I'd like you to start your show with my song.
And this time Kibe is in the US, right?
Yeah. And he was very, very friendly, and he tells me, okay, I'm very real. If it's a good song.
No, I watched the whole thing. I mean, I was like,
If I don't like
Kibe
it,
is gonna bash this guy because Kibe is quite a monster.
Brutal.
He's brutal, but in a good way.
It's a music.
Andrew Kibe. He used to be a radio presenter.
I see.
Then he has his YouTube account now that he does live shows.
Okay.
Like he just pointing out on the ills in the entertainment industry.
He's quite controversial.
He's very controversial, and I think it's more reason he left Kiss because he went to the director and he told him, "Listen, what you guys are doing, I don't feel like doing it. Today I'm quitting," and he walked out.
Is that really what happened?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I'm confusing him and Shafi
before he did that.
I'm thinking like,
So he was
He had his radio coming. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
guys, am I confusing Andrew Kibe and Shafi Weru? Is
No,
Kibe
Shafi-
not the one who was involved in that scandal of the girl who was pushed over a balcony?
no, it's
after?
it's
was
Shafi
Shafi?
Weru.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Kibe, if you're
quite
watching this,
controversial, quite
sorry about
controversial
that.
guys, but in very good ways. Kibe has hosted us with Prezzo on not NRG, but Rogue Radio.
Okay.
He has a live radio called Rogue Radio.
Right.
And in Rogue Radio, you would say anything you want to say. And I'm like, okay, now Kibe is leaving this country. How are we
Free
gonna?
space.
Yes.
Yes.
So right now, what Kibe does really, I mean, if you're crazy to Kibe. If you're good, you're good.
Right.
He will pick up on anyone. But he's like a moral cop to some extent, while messing up the morality out there. So he's yeah.
And of course, you are an incredible artist, and I can see why anyone would want to manage you. But I just want to know, what is the relationship between you and George? Like, how did you meet, and how did you decide that you were going to take this guy up?
We want to hear about that.
Roped into it.
Yeah.
What do you mean you were roped into it?
We want to hear about that.
Yeah, actually, let me answer that.
Well, let's George. We want to hear from George. Well, it's sort of like, I want to hear George's version.
Well, he needed a manager, so he kind of like roped me in.
Okay.
So the label said to him, basically one of the criteria was he has to have a manager. So he said, I've got a manager. He didn't have one. But then he says to me, do you want to be my manager? I said, okay.
Have you managed artists before?
No, but I've always been in management all my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've managed, I've run a company or two.
Okay. Cool.
But now I'm doing something totally different that I've never done before.
That's really
So
cool.
you guys were friends prior to...
You can say we're friends. Yeah, right.
I think I heard that story downstairs.
Yeah.
They met at an insurance company.
Insurance company.
Yeah.
And how's the journey? How's the journey with it? Because I've also managed some artists. I've managed some artists like, some of the artists who would walk up to the studio and say, Steve, I want you to manage me. And I'm like, okay, what do you have? Why do you want me to manage you?
Right.
And they're like, well, I'm this dope singer. They show me their work and everything. But you tell this artist, well, this is good. Let's meet tomorrow at 8.
They won't show.
They don't show up.
8.
Yeah.
Or, okay, I'm giving you a studio session tomorrow at noon. I'm giving you this at your disposal. What are you going to do with it?
Right.
They don't show up.
Right.
They don't just own up to the time.
Yeah.
Have you?
Okay, that's one thing I said. I've already said that he does his research. Elvis is somebody who takes things very seriously. If you tell him, listen, we've got a meeting tomorrow at 7,
Right.
the guy will be at your place at 6.
Oh wow.
I noticed that because
6:30 latest is like, and he's like, I'm late.
Yes,
No, it's cool. We've got time. But
bro.
that's what I like. He shows up. He's on time.
Right.
He does his research. And if I tell him, okay, we need to do a song based on this, within 2 days, the song's out.
out.
He says, now we're ready to do it. So that's what I like about him.
So consistency.
Consistency,
Right.
dependability.
Dependability.
Because if you have an artist who you tell him, look, we have, for example,
Yes.
maybe we're meeting Jones, and
Yes.
Jones is a hotshot producer.
Yes.
I know that. The artist might not. I'll tell
Yes.
him, listen, be here tomorrow at 7. There's somebody you got to meet.
Yes.
Right.
Now, if he doesn't show up at 7, Jones will be like, these guys are not serious. So that you're out of the picture.
Yes.
But I don't have that problem with Elvis.
Actually,
Elvis is very
I was
good.
struggling a little bit with that today, right? To be honest with you, because since we
Don't
started,
mention him.
and-
Don't mention
No,
him.
no, not mentioning him. I'm not mentioning any name. No name.
He'll still
no,
be,
no name to will be mentioned. But it's not just him alone, though.
Yeah.
I was asking favor. I said, why is it that people say they don't have opportunities,
Yes.
and when the opportunity is presented, they just kind of take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
And I can't wrap my head around it. And so the fact that you have a guy here who shows commitment and dedication, and you say he's dependable, that's a winner. And often has it been, to be honest with you, that the people who ultimately make it aren't necessarily the most gifted,
Yes.
but the ones that you can depend on, the
Yes.
ones that are willing. Some talents there, yeah, you can refine that. But the guys who think they got it all,
Yeah.
they don't want to listen.
And I'm even thinking, because George is a manager here now, I'm not
Yeah.
going to speak like Steve-O, the manager, but
Right.
because maybe there's somebody out there hating. I remember there's a time we had a post on Facebook, and then I threw in my comment. Then somebody's like, this Stephen Ogechi is one proud kissy. He's always bragging and doing all this. I want George to actually tell young upcoming artists and even the established artists out there what it really takes for a manager to manage an artist. Because if they heard it from me, or if I said it, they will say, come on, this is the ordinary Steve always hating on us. And again, don't forget to mention cleanliness. There are people who can take off their shoes when they're walking into your studio, and you will get heartburns from the shoe. Please.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know which camera, maybe this one?
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Okay. For the young people out there, the older ones, well, I think they know better. But the young people, opportunities don't come every day. And when an opportunity comes, if you don't take advantage of it, it's gone. You can't go tomorrow and say, look, sorry, my car broke down. I had this and that. I'm sorry, I didn't make it. The guy will be like,
what is wrong with you?
we can't work like this. And then, of course, our background. I mean, I've been in business and whatever. And in Britain, we were basically financial advisors. Now, you can't walk around in pajamas and expect to sell. So, like, we're usually well dressed. I'm usually in a suit. Same with him. So that the dressing, the cleanliness, having aftershave on, and looking smart and whatever. That was all part of the deal. And the thing is, like I say, my job became easy because he was easy to manage.
Yes.
If he was kichwa gumu, okay, it's kichwa gumu kidogo, but if he was very kichwa gumu,
Yes.
I would not be sitting here today.
Exactly.
You'd hear just him peke yake.
Great. So I'm thinking, Elvis, and for you to pass out a message out there to maybe, somebody who wants to drop rap. Because I remember one guy called Fulfill. Fulfill is a very good singer.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good singer. And he used to rap, but he switched on to singing.
Right.
Your story and Fulfill, he used to write, is a musical genius, I can say.
Right.
Because he also used to write for some artists who could pull up at Compact. So you and Phil, you kind of switched from rapping to country. Phil switched up from rapping to singing, and he's good at it. But somehow he's now doing gospel music.
Yeah.
What can you tell, an artist who is looking up to? Because, bro, to be honest, this is coming from the horse's mouth. You are big in country music. You are big. There's another guy called Farike, who does, Farike.
He's a friend of mine, yeah.
And I don't know what's with these kisses and doing country music, man.
Right.
But
He's
so good.
actually toured in like 24 states. Yeah?
In the US. Yeah, because of country.
Because of country.
What can you tell an upcoming artist who would like to maybe switch and they feel like, well, this genre I'm doing is not doing me good? Like Babji, for example.
Yeah.
Babji is the biggest artist we have in Nyamira County. He's quite big. But he also switched from rapping to vernacular. And now he went to vernacular and exploded.
Yeah.
Nyamira County, Kisii County. And I'm thinking very soon he's going to get some trips in the US because that's what his plan for 2023 is. So Elvis, to an upcoming artist who is still stuck in a genre that he doesn't believe, what can you tell them?